Had no idea it was going to give me an option. Well, welcome to our first meeting of the Seed Library Interest Group. I'm still Amy, and we've got Julie Kent here from the Erie City Public Library to kind of guide our discussion and help answer some questions. But we're just hoping today to just start the discussion, hear from you about what you're hoping to put together or what you've already put together, all of that good stuff, all about seed libraries. So I'm going to mute me for a little bit and hand it off to Julie.
Well, good morning. As you guys are mostly aware, I mean, I've sent out seeds to a lot of the libraries for seed libraries to start up. And we do it really casually here. Most of what we get are seeds that are from companies. You know, I mean, we've gotten them from Walmart, we've gotten them from Baker Creek, we've gotten them from High Mowing. And generally speaking, we don't save seeds here unless people are interested in saving seeds for their own. I mean, we can do classes and that sort of thing on saving seeds, but the USDA is not crazy about people saving seeds and having it in the library and saying that these are seeds that are heirloom, you know, because you could end up with any kind of weirdness. So we generally don't keep packages of seeds here in the library that are save seeds because it's just not a good situation. I mean, and so if people want to save seeds and share them, we do a program in April, generally in April. This year it's going to be in May because we are fighting with all of the proms. But we generally do a program where it's a seed and plant swap. And I basically let people in the community know that we're going to have a day when people bring stuff in. It's usually a Saturday morning from like 9 to 12. And people bring in anything that they have that they want to swap. So if they want to save seeds and share with their neighbor, they can do that. We just are not able to, as the library, have seeds here that are saved because, well, the USDA likes to inspect seeds. And so that's one of the reasons why we don't do it. However, I mean, if you're growing solely heirloom seeds or heirloom plants, you can save seeds safely and replant the same things every year. So that cuts out that buying seed or getting seed from the library. Our library is set up, we have totes that have the seeds in them, and they're just alphabetically listed in the totes from A to Z, basically. Some libraries go all out and do seeds by the difficulty. So the easy seeds, the ones that easily grow, they have an easy mark on those seed packages so people know. Then it goes on to, you know, the next level, moderate, and then to seed difficulty. So once the seeds that don't grow easily and may require things like what do they call them cold sowing. I think that's what it is, where you have to refrigerate the seed or freeze the seed before it will kick in and start growing. And there are a number of those, especially seeds that are native seeds to Kansas, ones that have to go through the winter before they start growing. A lot of those won't grow unless they get cold weather. And one of the ones is milkweed. Milkweed is one of those seeds that you can get pretty readily now from people, but you have to remember that you have to do that cold thing first before you can plant them, because they just won't grow. But as far as seeds go in our library, for the most part, that's how they're set up, is just set up in totes. My rules for it here are that people can get 5 packages of seeds each time they come into the library. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want somebody coming in and taking a whole tote full of seeds home and hoarding them, because there are lots of seed hoarders out there. I wasn't aware that this was an issue, but there are people out there that, you know, that have seeds, thousands of packages of seeds that they get because their packages are pretty and they like them, and that's something that they do. So anyway, I also asked that if you take seeds, just to make your seed library self-sustaining, I always also ask for people to return seeds at the end of the year so that there are seeds that, that we have for next year. Now, so far, that hasn't been an issue. As you're probably aware, we've had the great luck of getting free seeds from seed companies. But there's lots of ways to get those seeds, to get them from seed companies or get them from your local farm store or from Walmart or from Dollar General. Dollar General, the first year we did this, gave us all the seeds they had left over at the end of the year. And that's what Walmart did. Walmart Chanute did that very same thing. And I think a lot of times that just gives them one more thing that they can take off their income tax as a tax deduction. And so if you contact those places now in the late summer when they're getting rid of their seeds, they'll probably contact you and say, I have seeds, do you want them? And then you'll get them. As far as setting up your seed library currently, the seeds that I've sent out to you are a good start, but that's all that they are, is a good start. So what you probably need to do if you have the opportunity is put a blurb in the newspaper saying that you've started a seed library, and are there people out there with seeds from last year that they would like to share? Because once again, there are seed hoarders out there in the world. Our local extension office, the first year that we did plants in the greenhouse, gave me something like 50 packages of tomato seeds. So they may, your extension service may have that sort of thing that would be available. I think they have access to, what are they called? Seed banks. And you might be able to get seeds, additional seeds to keep going. But just good to start. Yes, ma'am.
So we haven't launched ours yet, but the person who's in charge of the local community garden found out about it and gave us like 12 boxes of seeds. So we might have some that we can share.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I think I'm going to end up with some more seeds from Walmart in Chanute. The president of our board, her husband works in the garden section of the Chanute Walmart, and that's how we ended up with them. And she asked me the other day if we still wanted seeds. Now, I never say no to free, so if I get more seeds to share, I will dole them out and send them out to the places that have already got them, just because we still have enough seeds here to take care of everybody in Neosho County. Because we still have, I think I still have 10 totes pretty full of seeds. Because I gave away to 14 libraries, to a library in Nebraska, and to a library in Alabama. So if people let me know that they need, there's a program in Labette County that's through Blue Cross Blue Shield Pathways. They're doing a community garden. They came and got a bunch of seeds. Because these are, seeds are one of those things that even though they'll last for a couple of years, they really have a shelf life. And it doesn't do me any good to have a bunch of seeds here that are probably no good. I would rather pass them on. And so I'm more than happy to share when it comes to free things. So basically that's how ours is set up. You can go all kinds of ways. And I will have some handout things that you can print off. So if you would send me your email or let me know that you're interested in stuff on seed libraries, I would be happy to send them out. Because I'm compiling the thing that other places have done. Everything that I have done on our seed library has come from other libraries.
And Julie, I'm building I'm building a distribution list for folks who are interested in the seed library. So I'll be able to share those contacts with you.
Yeah, I'd be happy to just send them and have you send them out to the list. It's not a big deal, because this stuff is going to be pretty simple. It just depends on how much you want to do. I was telling you, the lady from Nebraska contacted me because I'm on a Baker Creek Seeds, that these are a bunch of hoarders. That's where I get that hoarding thing from. But Baker Creek Seed Gardeners, it's a Facebook page. They're always showing off their 45,000 packages of seeds. And some of these people have thousands of packages of seeds and, you know, like an 8-foot garden. So they're never going to use them. But anyway, this lady from Nebraska contacted me about a seed library because I had put down that we were doing it. And she went to one of the local ones around. They said, oh, it's going to take you 30 volunteers and $1,000 and all this. And I said, no, that isn't it at all. I mean, because the most I've spent on seeds is $20. That was 2 years ago. You just have to say to people, we need seeds. We're going to share them with people who need them and go from there. I mean, so it doesn't have to be a huge investment of time or money. You know, I mean, you just set them out. I do attempt, I'm getting ready to do a display right now with seed catalogs and some of the seeds out with a sign up talking about the seed library and seeds are available. In about a week or two, I'll send a blurb to the local newspapers, and they tend to print everything. I just write it out for them, and they cut and paste and put it in the newspaper. And so I'll do something about that because I want to announce that we're doing the 3rd annual plant and seed swap. And we generally have, I would say probably 100 people come through that day looking at stuff. We get them from all over the county, from surrounding counties. I also put them in, if you have access to those little farm papers like Good News or what is it, the Double Nickel or something like those. Lots of times if you send them a blurb, they'll put it in the paper and it doesn't cost you anything. I do lots of free, because most of this stuff ends up being public service announcements kind of stuff. So I just put it in.
Well,
And
as you walk into Orchlands, they have a giant bulletin board. So
yes,
that would be a great place to advertise it as well. And do you put out your garden books so that you're advertising or promoting your collection as well?
yes, I don't have we had a whole lot of gardening books that got weeded, but I took them aside. So I have a bunch of books that I will put out for people to look at with the knowledge that we can get other books from other places, if you know, and if it turned out they really wanted them, we put them back in circulation. You know, I mean, there isn't any reason why we can't, because it's not going to cost us anything one way or the other to do it. But yeah, and you know, this is when you're getting ready to do this kind of stuff, you just kind of have to have a plan in mind. It's the time frame that you want to get it done. But none of this is major expensive, doesn't take a lot of staff time. I just do it. And the other thing that I do, and we were laughing about having people come visit and just dropping in. If somebody walks in the door and they haven't been here before, I ask them if they've seen the greenhouse. Okay, because that's always a selling point. I show them the greenhouse, I show them the mobile kitchen, I show them the plants we have growing, I show them the seed library, I give them the nickel tour. They get everything. And that's when I say, if you have extra seeds that you would like to share with your friends and neighbors, bring them in. And so we get a lot of old seeds that come in, and they may or may not be great germinating, but it doesn't cost anybody anything to plant them. So, you know. And by the way, I have a great gob of flower seeds from not last year, probably the year before. So anybody is in need of flower seeds, please let me know and I will ship them your way by courier, because we have quite a few. And that, once again, isn't going to do any good to let them set. Yes, ma'am.
Do you do programming aside from the seed swap? Like, do you have kids try to germinate things, or do you have, I think,
obviously we've only had it a year and we didn't do much of anything last year. I do have plans in mind, greenhouse stuff for kids. I mean, And this is a perfect example. Last year, when everything went 70% off at Dollar General, I got gloves. These are 30-cent ones, you know, I got all this stuff for next to nothing. And I'm also one of those people that hits every Goodwill in the country. I was showing my staff all of the stuff I came home with. I've got to stay out of Goodwill because I am killing myself financially. But anyway, no, I got colored sand to make colored sand things in a jar. I got, we're getting ready to do a business expo on the 23rd of April. And because we have been so isolated from people coming in because of COVID, I'm hoping that we'll get people that will stop at the library booth and sign up for summer reading, learn about our hotspots. It's going to be a hodgepodge of stuff that will be on this booth, so that I have things I can show people, because people have gotten to the point where they don't come out. We just don't get a whole lot of people in. So I'm hoping that this will really help us get people in. But I am planning on having some stuff on growing stuff for kids, gardening for kids. We're going to do some straw bale gardening around the greenhouse. I've got some pots outside because I did a few plants and stuff in those mineral tubs that farmers have, you know. And so we'll put some plants in those. I have window boxes to put around the greenhouse that will have flowers in it, so there'll be flowers around the greenhouse. And the flowers that are out front, we do some big pots of flowers at the front of the library. So yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be that. I'm hoping that we'll do those kinds of things. We're also going to get some stuff from the Extension Service. Krista Harding, who is down here in Erie, she does classes on herbs and classes on other stuff. We haven't been really very successful getting people in because, once again, we're too isolated. People are not going anywhere. So, but I'm hoping, yes, I'm hoping to do gardening classes and cooking classes for kids during the summer. I'm hoping to get, we have a former master gardener that has retired, and I'm hoping to get her to come in and help. Actually, one of the people that owns the greenhouse, the greenhouse that they just retired and shut everything down, she is part of the people who come in all the time. So I'm hoping I can get her to do some stuff too. So it's not just me attempting to get stuff going. That is kind of the plan. I keep hoping that we're going to be able to make those plans. It's not been terribly successful the last couple of years, but you know, we'll give it a shot.
Well, a lot of people now have gazebos, so they have an outdoor space. That's what we're going to take advantage of our shelter for a plant swap. And I think we're also going to take advantage of the yard being all torn up to plant some zinnias and some other plants from seeds to advertise the seed library as well.
I have a huge bag of zinnia seeds that I got from, I think, the Mound City Library. She sent me a huge bag. And so if anybody needs zinnia seeds, I'd be happy to package them up in smaller packages and send them out. Because, you know, one never can have too many zinnias. I mean,
Exactly.
you know,
Jenny,
goes
where'd
with
you
it.
get those from?
I think somebody just picked them. You know what I mean? I think that they were some zinnias they had outside. So.
Well, they're gorgeous when you plant them in mass. They have them at the garden, the community garden here in Iowa.
Well, the community garden here in town is really firing up too. I got a message from one of the people at it. She said she was planting some of these. I think they're strawberry chocolate. I don't know what they are, but they're a new Baker Creek, a new fancy tomato seed. And she said, I'll have some plants. Well, I bought some so I could plant some too. So I suspect there will be a number of those plants in Neosho County before it's over. So because we all have seeds.
Jenny, you got it. Where'd you get your zinnias? I see that you're unmuted. Oh, but I still can't hear. What is wrong? Oh, well. So they're library zinnias. I see that in the chat. You grew them at the library.
Very cool.
I'm curious who has already started on their new seed library and who is still just interested in dipping their toe in that water. We're getting ready to launch ours, so we're what's that word? Invested. I don't know. That's not the right word, but
Good.
This is Sabrina from Thayer, and we've started.
Oh, good.
I've had, I'd say 8 people come in and get seeds so far.
Good.
So, and for us, that's pretty good.
Well, people are starting to notice and they're coming in. So we're getting more people all the time.
Mhm.
How do you run yours, Sabrina? Is it just they just come in and get seeds, and do you have any other stipulations?
Well, I have them sign a log with their name and how many packets they took. Just using the seeds that Julie sent us. And they look through and find what they want. Interestingly enough, one of the people was a 12-year-old boy who wanted to grow flowers for his mom. So I thought that was kind of neat. So, and I just record the information on a spreadsheet on my computer just to have a record. So far, that's what we've done. But I did plant seeds yesterday. I just couldn't wait. Planted basil, eggplant, and spinach. So
Wow.
we'll see.
So
Couldn't wait
Cranny,
any longer.
I love that story about the 12-year-old who came to get flowers for his mom. That is like the perfect story when you're having to, talk about what the role of the library in the community or the impact that you have. Those are the perfect stories to share with people.
Mhm. Yeah. Of course, we are probably within a month of our move. So, yeah.
Well, reach out, let us know if we can help. You've got friends and neighbors.
Yeah, getting all the planning done is, but I'm gonna carry through with the garden anyway. So,
I'm going to read out some of the chat here and then I'm going to call on Diana because she's got her hand raised. Let's see. Jenny, you said you've got yours loaded into the old card catalog. That's great. I think Sharon is doing the same thing. They found an antique card catalog. Brandon says that Independence is still looking into it. So we're glad you're here, Brandon. That's what this is for. Cindy's just thinking about it so far. Let's see. Jenny also says that she asks folks to bring in some seeds to replace what they take. So getting those seed hoarders to exchange out some of their stuff. Morgan says that they're getting ready to put theirs out and they have a small community garden out back and they are trying to work with the Lions Club, who has a greenhouse in town as well. Diana, let's hear from you.
Kind of a two-part question. One, when we get ours started, we was maybe going to request any abundance that they have from their crop that they bring into our food pantry and share with the community. And then another question on whenever you said you asked them to bring back, are you talking about bringing back dried seeds from their harvest or bring back a new pack of seeds? My thought is, well, if they're going to come in and take one, why would they go out and buy a new pack of seeds and then bring a pack back? Why don't they just go out to the store and buy their own in the first place?
Well, you know, seeds go on sale just like everything else at the end of the year. And lots of times you'll find seeds at like Dollar General where there'll be 4 packs for $1. We don't care where they come from as long as they're inspected seeds. Now, once again, you can have people save seeds, but it's not a good idea to have them. It isn't a good idea in our library anyway, to have seeds that are harvested because the USDA likes to inspect seeds. So that's why we do it that way here. And it's just basically easier. You don't have to buy seed envelopes. You don't have to write stuff on them. I mean, you're just saving the stuff. And so far, we really haven't had to have people bring us back seeds. Although, generally speaking, people buy, if they go buy seeds, they buy too many. And at the end of the year, they'll bring seeds in that they bought last year because they didn't use them. And we just put them in the library, and then they take them out. So, and up to now, we've not had to go and even ask people or had to buy seeds because we've gotten donations from all of these places. And if you want more information on those kinds of things, I can give you more places that do that donation of seeds. You know, Baker Creek just did a massive one, but I don't think they're doing any more right now. But there are other places that do.
So for folks who have an excess of seeds that are not the prepackaged, already inspected by USDA, but ones that they've harvested from their own plants, that would be reserved for any of those seed swaps, plant swaps that you might choose to host at your library.
Yeah, now you just don't want to keep seeds in your library that aren't inspected. That's the deal. So you can have people come to your seed and plant swap and share seeds right and left.
Well,
Without
and
any-
that's because of a fear of invasive species, right? It's,
Right.
you know,
right.
do you
And
guys remember in the news when there were these packages of seeds that were coming to people and nobody knew where they were from, and there was lots of theories about them. But yeah, there's a reason why the USDA is a stickler about it. It's to protect the biodiversity and our
Well,
own
and
ecosystems.
And unless the plants that you're saving seeds from are heirlooms, you don't want to save seeds because they don't breed true. You know, if you got a hybrid tomato, like big boy tomatoes, they're basically hybrids. If you save seeds from those tomatoes, you have no guarantee that you're going to get a big boy tomato. You'll probably get a tomato, but you're not going to get that one because they don't breed true. So any of the seeds that you got there in the black packages that say Baker Creek on them, those seeds breed true. Those are heirlooms. And they're always going to come back as the same thing. So that's the other part of the problem. If you're saving seeds and you're saving them from heirloom or from hybrid plants, you have no guarantee that what you're going to get is what you thought you were getting. So that's the other part of the issue.
We've got a little bit more in chat here. Sharon said that the Humanity House, which is their local community garden there in Iola, is now an official partner. Awesome.
Very cool.
Love having partners for everything you do in the library. Deanne is still in the planning stages and hoping to collaborate at the farmers market. That would be fun. Y'all also, if you have a local farmers market, go do some outreach there. That is a great time, a great place to get the library out in the community.
Our farmer's
Um,
market is actually in our, like, right in our parking lot. So
Yay!
we have all those little canopies that they set up in during the summer. So I've reached out to Kevin, so I'm hoping that I can work out with something with him.
Awesome.
Do all your local farmers markets have to do the inspection? Because they tried starting them around here a few years ago, but you had to like register and be inspected for your booths and so forth like that to do with the USDA?
I'm gonna say for Allen County or for Iolas, yes, because they also are part of the WIC program and some other food security programs. So it's Thrive Allen County, I think, but I can share with you, Diane, more information about the locals farmer, how the local farmers market here in Iola got set up.
I didn't know if like the library could host one just and put out on the front lawn and have a farmer's market thing, not steady, but periodically, whether those qualified in the have to be inspected or whether that's just a program considered as a
They
program.
they do a bunch of training this time of the year for farmers markets. If you contact your extension service, they should be able to tell you who to talk to, because they do some training so that people can get started. We want a farmer's market here. We're going to use the pavilion as part of the where we put stuff. So, and I've contacted one of the extension people to see about it. I don't know anything about it at this point, but I will.
And Diane, there are libraries that start the farmers market. The one in Bonner Springs it's officially the library's farmers market, but it's held downtown. So the Jack at the Bonner Spring Library might be one to contact as well.
Anybody have any questions or stuff you want to share about what you're doing or hoping to do?
I'm hoping to do a three-part program. The seed library, container gardens out behind our new location because we have water access and a southern exposure. And I've talked to Southwind about getting maybe 6 to 8 of those lip tubs set up and just to have kind of a container community garden out back. And then a produce exchange for people who, like I did one year, planted 4 eggplants and harvested over 50 pounds of eggplant that summer. There's no way 2 people can eat 50 pounds of eggplant. I still have eggplant in my freezer. So I would have loved to have a place to take that eggplant and have someone just use it, take it, you know. And asparagus, same way. We have an asparagus bed at a home, and with 9 plants in it, and we get more asparagus than we can eat every spring, and that stuff's expensive to buy. So, hoping to do that anyway.
When we got the greenhouse grant, part of the greenhouse grant included buying a refrigerator so that we had a place to put food, because it tends to be inevitable that people bring in produce on Friday afternoon that's ultra ripe and we're closed over the weekend. And so we have a refrigerator, and currently we have 16 dozen duck eggs. So if you know anybody who's interested in duck eggs, send them my way, because they're great to cook with. And I cook with them all the time, but people are kind of funny about duck eggs. But anyway, people bring me in eggs, and they bring in duck eggs. They bring in produce all summer long. So, and that's one of the reasons why we got the refrigerator, was for that particular thing. We also have a table during the summer that people bring in produce, and then I just put it on Facebook that we have whatever, corn on the cob or whatever, and people come in and get it. So I think it's a good idea. That also is one of those things that doesn't require a whole lot of doing. As long as you've got a card table with a place to put stuff, people tend to come and take it. And you know, there's no requirement. You don't have to be poor. If you just are interested in eating eggplant, we have a whole bunch of it, people come in and get it.
Before I call on Cindy here, another thing you can do as far as preservation, besides freezing or having a refrigerator there on site, which is actually a great idea, is teaching people about canning. A few years ago, I brought in a gal from the extension office who did a nice, long, really thorough class on safe canning techniques, and it was really, really cool. So for all of these things, contact contact your extension office if if you've got one not too far from you. They're master gardeners and their food. I don't remember what the food specialist people are, but it's really, really great. Cindy, go ahead. What you got?
Well, another resource would be to talk to your high school FFA teacher, because I have a good relationship with ours, and we were the neighbor of the library was going to be doing some lawn work and landscaping, and so they came down and got plants. We're going to divide them and use them for their sale. And so they would be good those kids love coming down and doing stuff at the library. I did the Master Gardener program in Southern California when I lived out there, and Master Composter and Master Food Preserver, but I'm not advertising my services. I'm just that when I moved back to Kansas and wanted to get involved with it, I was told I was going to have to start over and take all those classes again. But Master Composter is a really good one too. Just a couple ideas.
Tried to call on Diana, but I was on mute. Diana, what you got?
Those that have the community gardens, are they located on the library's property somewhere else in the town? And who actually puts them in, takes care of them? And do you find that you're the one left held responsible for all that of, taking care of it all the time?
Our community garden is right out back. Like, we have a museum part of us, and ours is out back, and it's actually raised, and we use tires to build it and painted the tires. We did it the first year. We did like the space theme summer reading, so we created the planets out of the tires and kind of did plants based off what would grow on each planet. Yes, so unless you have volunteers that want to help with it, you're kind of, in our experience, I do a lot of the tending and care to it, or I get our kids involved. And sometimes if they're looking for something to do, if they want to come help weed, then they get a free pop because we sell pop at the library or something like that. And then with our summer reading group, we would take the kids out when the tomatoes are ready and stuff like that, and they would actually pick some tomatoes and get to take stuff home too with them. So we kind of incorporated it into a different program as well, if that makes sense.
The Kansas Corn Growers Association sent me a postcard, maybe everyone else got them too, about a educational program that you could sign up for, and they'd send you supplies and treats and things like that for growing corn. And I went on the website and signed up for the first lesson, but that was in January. I haven't received anything back from them.
Sabrina,
We
I
did
know
that. We
Kathy
did
at
that.
Savonburg did that.
Yeah, we did it here last year.
We did that also. And they do ship your stuff from Amazon. And it did have nice treats. I mean, they had like anything made with corn. It was like popcorn balls, prepackaged individual. corn nuts packages and beef jerky, individual packs. And they had a nice lesson book. And then you can go on and use the videos too. We just didn't have any kids really take interest in it though. And then they also provided the kind of a craft type thing that had to do with corn.
For Iola's community garden, it's massive, and it's one that Tracy Kegel takes care of. So it's her, and it's one that people can buy a plot for growing vegetables and stuff. Has free water, and there's a compost pile down there. Luckily, it's right by my house, but yeah, I know gardening that's going to be done at the library will probably be me and Colleen.
Yeah.
Where I am, I'm in a bigger town. We have multiple community gardens, but one of them is actually very near the library. And so the teen librarian actually makes it a regular program, especially during the summer when there's a lot going on in the garden, to take a group of teens down the street to the community garden to take care of it. So that's another way to get your community, especially those teens that are harder to bring in, to help out and be involved. Another one of the ones in town is actually run by the extension office, and they call it their WIC garden. Parents who are in families who are in the WIC program can come and help work on it and take home what they want, what they need to supplement their what they can get through the program. I also see in the comments back to the canning, Sharon says that she thinks Arma has the canning equipment. So
That they can check out. I think it's part of her library of things before they closed because of mold, but I know that she did bring in extensions to do programs on canning. But that might be something you guys can consider, is it like Julie has tools that you can give away? Are there certain tools that people would need once or twice a year that you could have as part of a library of things?
Yeah.
Lisa says that she put together a canning program a few years ago. Awesome. Back to that library of things, there may be some larger tools that they may only need a couple times. Don't forget to make a waiver for your patrons to sign when they check those things out from the library.
If your toe gets in the way, it's not our fault. That's your fault.
Yep.
I just keep thinking about those neat tools that I've got one where I can make holes for my bulbs, and it's very likely that I could have lost an appendage by now. Let's see. Oh, Cindy, you can help out with anything. We'll take you when we can.
The county extensions canning program that they offer, we had one scheduled about the time COVID started, and we didn't have enough sign up. You have to have a certain amount sign up for the program, and it's a 2-day program. And it sounded really nice, but we just didn't have enough people sign up for it. And that's, like I say, right when COVID was getting big, and so we had to cancel. But it's something that would be looking into the future of using. And they do it all. You just provide the space, which we have a kitchen and 2 stoves. So
It'd be fun to do something like a salsa tasting contest, or, instead of a chili feed, use all your produce to make your perfect salsa, your perfect pico de gallo. So there's some other fun things you can do after, in the fall with all the, I don't know, with all that food.
Lisa
yeah.
says they did that with jams and jellies, a taste test. I would love that. Yeah, bring your preserves for me to taste. Find out when I'm going to be in the office and bring them in. We'll see how they are.
Yeah. So I could just see a lot of spin-off programs.
Anything else for today? Anybody have any questions or things that you want to share, or
I have a question for Julie. This is Cindy. Could you tell me more about when you say totes and you've got them organized alphabetically, what kind of totes are we talking about?
Oh, they're just small. I'll show you here before we leave. They're just small plastic totes. Hang on a second. I'm taking you with me,
Okay, thanks.
which is what I do in my spare time, is take people with me.
And if you do have an old card catalog, they fit perfect in a card catalog.
Yep. That would be nice.
Well, we found our antique one just hanging out over in the Fluharty Annex, and it's beautiful cross-cut oak. So I said, we're using it.
This is basically what they're just small totes.
Oh, we lost your video, Julie.
Oh, darn. Hang on a second. It's what happens when I move. Can you
Oh,
see
okay.
now?
Yep.
That's really all that there are. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 small totes. They're not all clear full, but that's basically it. So I have lots of seeds left, all kinds of seeds. So, and that's what we used because it was easy. And they have lids, which makes it nice as well.
Do you keep them out all year, or do they get put away in the winter?
Actually, I just leave them out. We had some space left over from weeding stuff. So since there's space back there, they just sit back there. I don't know where I'd put them otherwise. The snow is mostly gone. There's the greenhouse. Can you see it?
Yes, in fact, I'm green with envy right now.
Well, it's, I wish that there was more I was doing with it. But it takes a bit of, as with anything, it takes a bit of time getting used to it. And I've never done a greenhouse before. So this winter, of course, this last few weeks, it's been so cold that I've been afraid to have anything out there that was live. So, but the temperature has stayed relatively decent. I don't think it got much below freezing out there at all, even when it was really cold. But I moved all the stuff in, so that stuff is all going to get moved back out to the greenhouse in the real near future, and hopefully we won't have to move it back in. I do have a heater in it, but it's just not able to handle all of the heat that you lose through the the clear covering on the greenhouse. So yes, it's very cool. I wish it were mine to take home.
Maybe you can rent space in it for people in the community that want to use it for their starters.
Baby, I'm going to plant right at 200 tomato plants to give away. I gave away 500 last year. Not ever going to have that many again because I had a terrible time getting rid of the last 100. And so that's my plan. I have a whole bunch, and they'll almost all be heirloom. I'm not going to do any hybrid tomatoes at all. So
Cool.
have a bunch of really cool seed that I'm going to getting ready to plant.
I could see that be a social media campaign too. It's like, here's planting day, here's gestation, here's, oh, look how little they are, you know, sort of like follow the growth.
I will, once I get the seeds planted with the little domes over the top, I will put on, you know, today's day one, and an ongoing thing. I did a lot of that last year, a lot of putting on when stuff came up. And it's just, I'm always amazed that they grow so well, you know, but they do. They like that stuff.
We've got another idea here in the comments from Lisa. A class demonstrating how to put together the correct soil mixture would be a good idea. To go along with that, someone was telling us about composting. I've already forgotten. I'm so sorry.
Same
And that would be great as well, because that helps with your soil. I think I mentioned this in another group because it's just something that has stuck in my mind ever since I saw it. But I have interacted with some 4-H kids who taught us about vermiculture. So they had these big Rubbermaid totes and taught us how to start your own worm farm. Like that's, yeah, that was super cool. And that would be a benefit to your garden, or, you know, maybe you know someone who's a fisherman, but I associate it with that soil health. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind you that now you probably already are, but if you are not, go ahead and get signed up for our mailing list for this group so you can stay up to date. I'll be sending stuff from Julie out to y'all, as well as a scheduler for our next meeting, so we can decide when that might be. Yes, Sharon says, please share your promo materials with us so we can steal from each other. Yeah, there's no reason to, you know, reinvent the wheel with everything you do, right? You can put your stamp on it, but if something's working well for one community, you might as well see if it's going to work well for yours. Apologies for my dog barking in the background. She says it's time for this meeting to be over so she can go outside. Anything else before I wrap up?
No, but anybody have any questions, they can call me directly. It's not a big deal.
Thank you so much, Julie. And thank you all for coming today, and really enjoyed hearing about all your ideas and your hopes for your seed library. And we will be back in touch with you soon. Have a good one.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Julie.
You're welcome. Have a good day.